Last year, I was begging you guys to go ahead and draft Kyron Williams, Devon Achan, DeAndre Swift. Let's pretend I didn't say DeAndre Swift, but those other guys worked out, man. And we're going to talk about five more running backs that you should be drafting. These are guys that are going to outproduce their ADP. These are dudes you should be going out to get this season. And I really hope I don't have to delete this video at the end of this year when half of these dudes don't fucking do anything for us. But anyway, we're going to hop into this video, and the first name on this list is the crotch rocket himself. It's Devon Achan one more time. We're running it back, dude. His value is still pretty nice. He's currently going as the RB6, and this dude has legitimate overall running back one upside, right? Like we know that about Achan. He's got the full profile. He's a workhorse running back who also is projected to have the most receptions in the NFL this season. Mike Clay, who does projections every single year. You guys got to go head over and check out he has like a PDF where he has player projections that are pretty accurate. I think he's even like won awards based off of it. So he's got him projected for the most receptions this season. And in 2024, he was the RB6 in points per game. Now, I think it's a little bit brutal to look at last season's points per game and say, okay, he was RB6. It doesn't really paint the whole picture. I think in 2024, there were like there were like 5 games where Tua Tagovailoa didn't play. And in all those games, Devon Achan was absolute cheeks, dude. He was unusable. Like, actually, was a landmine on your team if you started him for those weeks. So that kind of skews his points per game a little bit. Yeah, man, his efficiency really dipped, but despite that, he was still 9th in yards per out run. So as I mentioned, he's a really good receiving running back, 2nd in target share and receiving yards per game among running backs. So Devon Achan, when he's on the field, when Tua is on the field, he's an absolute top 3 potential running back. He catches the ball. He's got like game-breaking speed, and he's got this backfield essentially to himself. Now, in a future video, we might talk about Jalen Wright and kind of what I think he represents to this offense. I think he's kind of like the Raheem Mostert type thing, but that doesn't mean Achan still can't eat and just outperform his ADP. And recently, the coaching staff also said that their focus is going to be on keeping Tua healthy and getting the ball out early. Now, what does that mean? I mean, that is probably dog shit for Jalen Waddle and Tyreek, right? Like, the reason they were so unusable last year and even the year prior a little bit was because they really fell in love with the run game. And then Tyreek and Tua would kind of be, or I'm sorry, Tyreek and Waddle would kind of be a little bit, volatile there with their production. So I think he's locked in as Miami's RB1. Their offense should take another step forward. I do think they're going to be a little bit more creative with the passing game and open things up a little more. And I think that'll be good news for Devon Achan. So at RB6, I do think he has like top 2 potential. I think he could be right up there with Gibbs, with Saquon. So I do think he's value, right? At that 1-2 turn. So that's Devon Achan. Next player on this list is Chase Brown. So Chase Brown, I understand the trepidation. I understand the concern or the hesitancy around Chase Brown. He's not really a big name. He doesn't have the draft capital, but at RB15 in the 3rd round is pretty insane for the starting running back for the team that's projected to score the 2nd most points in the NFL. So I think you're getting an absolute steal. 3rd round, you're getting a locked in lead running back for a team like the Bengals. Now, Mike Clay does have him for 262 fantasy points, which is I think like 15th or so. So it's right along where ADP is getting him. But I do think there's a lot of optimism about what he can actually do, right? I think these are season-long projections, but last year from weeks 9 to 17, he was the RB4 in fantasy points per game. So he had 23 touches per game, 116 yards per game. He was getting into the end zone. He was just an absolute beast for them, right? He was exactly what they needed, a more explosive type running back, which Zach Moss just wasn't really giving them. And he played, 79% of snaps. They really weren't using anyone else. I think they even traded for Khalil Herbert, who came, had a cup of coffee, and then now he's gone. He did nothing. He got like 0 playing time. There was 1 week, I think it was week 18, where Khalil Herbert did actually start. I think he got like 20 carries for like 60 yards. He was dog shit, right? So they were just leaning on our boy Chase Brown. And he's got elite usage in the passing game as well. 2nd in receiving yards per game, 6th in target share. So he's going to get receptions. He's going to get volume. He's going to get goal line. He's going to get rush attempts. That is what we fucking want, boys. So there are a little bit of efficiency concerns. He was like 25th in explosive run rate, 26th in missed tackles, 33rd in yards after the catch per attempt. So Efficiency is not really there, but he's going to get the volume because at the end of the day, Taj Brooks, 6th-rounder, he's the only real threat to Chase Brown. So wheels are fucking fully up. And the next player on this list is my fucking hero, dude. I love this man. It's Chuba Hubbard. He got me a fantasy championship last year. So he is currently going at the RB18, sandwiched right between Alvin Kamara and James Conner. So, kind of makes sense, right? Like if you look at the ADP, I understand why he's where he's at, but I think that's a value. I think he's going to outproduce that. In 2024, he was the RB15 in points per game, 283 total touches, 1,500 all-purpose yards, second in missed tackles forced per attempt. He was an absolute beast. 6th in explosive run rate. So Chuba was actually Himothy. He was actually like outproducing his name, right? His name value. Like no one really thought much of Chuba. I mean, after weeks like 1 and 2, people were just dropping this man. Like I picked him up from the waiver wire in after week 2. So yeah, he's going to be an absolute beast. He has a strong passing game role, 7th in receiving yards per game. Now, I think the reason that he was RB15 in points per game, I'm going to pull up this game log here of Chuba, is that in weeks 1 and 2, as I mentioned, 1 and 9 fantasy points, we were like, we're fucking cooked, dude. Drop this man. He's trash. Especially after week 1, like, 1 fantasy point, he went 6 for 14. We were like, yep, fucking GG, no re. We're cooked. Drop this man. And in weeks 3 through 10, or, from weeks 3 to 10, 9, 25, 20, 14, 11, 11, 8, 20, 21, he was just an RB1, absolute RB1. Now, after the bye week, 14, and then 1 point, unfortunately, then 18, then 6, then 30. That 30-point game in week 16, that I was able to get to my championship game because of that single Chuba Hubbard performance. So he was a beast. Workhorse role is fully intact. High-end RB2. I mean, he's got top 10 potential in my opinion. And if he's going at RB15, RB16, whatever, like by the time, the season starts, he might be creeping up a little bit. But I just think he's got like top 10 potential on a team that I do think is going to be ascending. Bryce Young has ascended. Like the second half of last season, Bryce Young was an absolute beast. And Rico Dowdle's the only real competition to him, which slightly concerning. I'm not going to say Rico Dowdle is peanuts. He's not like, he's not nothing. He's definitely a pretty decent between the tackles running back, but I do think he's really just an insurance policy for our fucking prodigal son, Chuba Hubbard. So let's get disgusting now, dude. These next 2 names, these are deeper names. Like the first 3 names are dudes that, they're going in like the first 3 rounds, right? But we're going to talk about the disgusting brothers. And the first one is the Guardian helmet walking advertisement. It is our boy, Tyjae Spears. Tajay, I don't even fucking know, but it doesn't matter, right? Rookie season, this man pushed Derrick Henry to a 50-50 timeshare. Derrick Henry, dude. And he was one of the better running backs statistically. He was like one of the best rookie running backs in the class alongside like Devon Achane. And check out this chart from Jacob Gibbs, by the way, fucking GOAT. If you don't follow Jacob Gibbs, hit him up on Twitter. The man is a machine. And last year he did publish this chart where it's a bunch of shit, but the one that he focused on was PPR points per touch. So we have Jahmyr Gibbs at number 2, Devon Achane number 1, obviously. But our boy Tyjae Spears at number 5, dude. And that's in the entire NFL. That's not just rookies, right? So at number 5, Tyjae Spears is getting like 1.01 fantasy points in PPR per touch. And he was doing a lot of his damage as a receiving running back. And last year, the dude just, as I mentioned, Guardian cap walking advertisement. He deals with concussions, hamstring strain, ankle sprain. But then in weeks 15 to 17, he gets 24, 20, and 11 fantasy points. Tony Pollard doesn't play, so he gets the backfield to himself. Absolutely amazing. He probably wins people a lot of championships. And yeah, man, if he can get back to that rookie form, dude, like that Jacob Gibbs chart that I pulled up, like if he can just get back to that like highly efficient running back per touch, which he showed us at the end of last season, I think he's going to be great. This coaching staff already said that they want a more even split. They want a more even timeshare between the 2 running backs, between Pollard and Tyjae Spears. And I envision that coming to fruition, dude. I think it's going to be Tony Pollard as like the first and second down back. Spears, they might even switch off drives, dude, where Tony Pollard gets a drive to himself, Tyjae Spears gets a drive to himself. And if you can go and grab Tyjae Spears at RB39, man, that's after Javonte Williams, after Tank Bigsby, just before Jordan Mason. Like, you're talking about a dude who's being drafted around like handcuffs and like kind of, ambiguous backfield type running backs. And I think he's going to be like a straight up 1B in this offense, right? And let's see if the offense gets better with Cam Ward, man. So Tyjae Spears, love him at his value. Next disgusting brother is actually 2025's version of Bucky Irving, dude. So it is Bashul Tootin. Look, I don't know if his name is Bashul. I don't know if it's Bashul. Fucking who knows, man. But this man, look, he doesn't have the name that pops off the screen. He doesn't have that brandable name, but it doesn't really matter, dude, because Bashul Tune is him. He can play ball, dude. He joins the Jaguars backfield with Tank Bigsby and ETN, who were both kind of like, this team was waiting to move on from both guys. They bring in Liam Cohn from Tampa Bay. And this is why I'm saying that he's like 2025's Bucky Irving. They bring in Liam Cohn, who was the offensive coordinator for the Bucs last year. He's the one who made Bucky Irving what he is right now, right? So they bring in Bashul Tootin. They target this guy in the draft. He was a dude that they were looking at before the draft, through the whole draft process. Travis Etienne really kind of falters last season. All his metrics, his efficiency, his tackle breaking, his speed, everything was down. And they bring in Tootin as hopefully this like speedy running back. He's extremely fast, charts amazingly in all like physical, athletic metrics. And he brings this explosive upside to the team that they didn't really have last season. You also, account for the fact that Travis Hunter is now in town. Trevor Lawrence is going to be healthy. Another year of Brian Thomas Jr. Dude, this offense is ready to explode. It's literally like echoes. It's giving Tampa Bay Buccaneers vibes. So I think this Jaguars team is going to be like Tampa Bay last year. They're going to surprise a lot of people. Dynamite offensive weapons. You bring in a guy like Tootin who's just got like breakaway speed. He's got the juice to really thrive in the committee, and then I think he can actually take over the committee. So that's why I'm super excited about him. I just think like you draft him at his value, which is like double-digit rounds, right? He's got massive high upside, dude. Like if anything were to happen to ETN, Tootin is a league winner. If anything were to happen to Tank Bigsby, Tootin is a league winner. Even if nothing happens to them and he just performs well and just proves that he's got the juice, he could be a league winner. So this dude has a lot of outs to become a league winner. Like he just needs to do well with the touches that he gets early on. It's just what I tend to see from running backs like this, of this ilk. Like, can they bust off some big runs early? Kind of like Devon Achane, right? Like he starts getting work in like week 3 and he just busts off big chunk plays every time he got the ball. He has like 50 fantasy points in that first game, right, for the Dolphins. So if Bashul Tootin can do, I'm not expecting a 50-point fucking, banger, but if he can do well with his touches, I do think Bashul Tootin, Bashul, whatever the fuck, is going to be a very good value pick. You get him just so incredibly late. I mean, where are you getting Tootin? Let's see. You get him at RB 51, dude. After Blake Corum, before Jerome Ford. Like, come on, dude. Bashul Tootin's got way too much juice to be left in the 50s, right? So that's the list, man. These are 5 running backs that I'll be targeting at the moment at their value. These are dudes who are going to, I think, outperform their ADP. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I really want to know your thoughts on who you agree with, who you disagree with. Let me know if there are other sleeper running backs that you guys are going to be targeting, or just dudes that are just going to outperform their ADP. So let me know down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.